All right, let's dive into this really powerful story. It's an account of one of history's most pivotal events, but it's told through the lens of a passionate sermon. We're going to explore a story of incredible principle, gut-wrenching betrayal, and a legacy that, as the source argues, is in real danger of being forgotten.
So where does this all begin? Well, our source says it's not on a battlefield, but in an ominous dream. The prophet's companion, Ibn Abbas, wakes up and says these words you only say when a huge calamity has struck. He's just seen something that changes everything.
And in this dream, who does he see? The prophet himself, and he's holding a bottle filled with blood. He says to Ibn Abbas, This is the blood of my grandson Hussein and his companions. Right from the start, this sets the stage for a tragedy foretold. It frames the entire event not as just some political squabble, but as something of cosmic, spiritual importance.
So this journey towards that foretold destiny, it all kicked off with a promise. A huge one, actually, made by thousands of people in a city called Kufa. Now you gotta understand Hussein, the prophet's own grandson, isn't marching for conquest. He's responding to a call for help. The people of Kufa had sent him thousands of letters, pledging their allegiance to him against the ruler, Yazid, who the source describes as a tyrant. And who's with him? Just 72 people. 72. That's his family and his closest followers. But along the way, he gets this single, chilling warning from a poet named Al-Farazdak. Think about that for a second. The hearts of the people are with you, but their swords are against you. It's a perfect, fatal contradiction. How can people's hearts and their swords be on opposite sides?
Well, how did that happen? It really came down to two things: money and power. The sermon lays it out pretty clearly. Yazid's governor in Kufa basically just bought the city. All those pledges of support, all those thousands of letters sent to Hussein, they just evaporated in the face of political pressure and, cash. Their hearts may have been willing, but their swords had been sold.
And that betrayal, well, it leads directly to a showdown at a place called Karbala. It's this desolate, empty plain near the Euphrates River, and it's here that Hussein's small group gets intercepted, surrounded, and trapped.
So picture this. On one side, you've got Hussein's small band. And I mean, it's just 72 people. We're talking women, children. This is a family, not an army. And on the other side, an army of 4,000. The numbers are they're staggering, right? This isn't a battle, it's a siege, an impossible standoff. The night before it all goes down, the sermon points to this really key moment that shows you exactly who Hussein was. He gets everyone together and he tells them, look, you're free from your oath to me. The enemy only wants me. Use the darkness of the night, escape, and save yourselves.
And you know what? Not a single person left. Not one. Their response, as the sermon tells it, just shows this incredible, unwavering loyalty. They chose to stay, knowing that the sunrise would bring certain death. They understood this was a stand for something much, much bigger than their own lives.
And what followed on that day, the day of Ashura, was just brutal. A story of unbelievable sacrifice. The sermon details how they were cut off from the nearby river, denied water in the scorching heat. One by one, his family members, his companions, they all fell. Until Hussein was left fighting alone against thousands. He sustained, get this, over 180 wounds before he was finally killed.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't end there on the battlefield, not even close. The sermon takes this hard turn right into the idea of divine justice. It argues that the people responsible for this tragedy, they did not get away with it.
So what happened to the guys who did this? Well, the source details these incredibly grim fates for each of them. The governor who orchestrated it, the man who carried out the final act, and the ruler who gave the order. According to the sermon, all of them met these horrific ends that seem to mirror their crimes. It's presented not as a coincidence, but as cosmic payback. And this quote, it just sums it all up, doesn't it? This is the core belief, the ultimate takeaway from their fates. The idea that your actions always have consequences. Justice might be delayed, but it's never denied. because the ultimate judge is eternal.
Okay, so all of that history brings us to the sermon's real knockout punch. This is where the speaker stops talking about the past and starts talking about, well, about right now. He argues that the true essential lesson of Hussein has been lost over time.
And he draws this incredibly sharp line in the sand. On one side, you have what Hussein was all about, principle and action, standing for justice against tyranny no matter the cost. But on the other side, he sees modern commemorations as being reduced to just empty rituals. People crying, feeling emotional about the tragedy, but failing to actually live by the principles that Hussein died for.
And to back this up, he doesn't pull any punches. He throws out these really stark, specific examples. He's talking about young people who know movie plots inside and out, but can't answer basic questions about their own faith. He points to a library, a place of knowledge, being turned into a bar. He criticizes endless debates over historical details, like the location of Hussein's head, while the actual spirit of his sacrifice is completely ignored.
So in the end, this explainer of the sermon is really challenging all of us. It's asking us to think about the difference between just remembering history and truly learning from it. The question it leaves us with isn't really about the past, it's about right now. Are we focused on the symbols, or are we focused on the substance?